What up, everybody? It's your boy DJ Sunset doing another Reacts channel episode. And this episode, we got the Jimmy Dore Show. This guy's hilarious. I highly recommend watching Jimmy Dore. He got really based after he got vaccine injured, but he's also a really funny comedian. But he's been going into all these conspiracies just like Candace and Ian Carroll. And so that's why he has Candace Owens on right now. And she's talking about what's going on. This is like the latest things we have in terms of information between what Candace is doing right now. She's getting called out all over the place. Jimmy Dore's on her side. Let's go.
Understand. We can't possibly understand common sense. Like it's so crappy. And the reality is that Turning Point USA wasn't built on this idea of experts and elitism, and it won't survive if it keeps continuing down this path.
So I just want to read one more. This is a tweet that Charlie tweeted out on November 22nd, 2023. Or maybe it doesn't matter. So he says,
yeah, you're right.
60 years ago today, JFK was murdered in broad daylight, a moment that would alter the trajectory of American history and shatter the public's trust in the federal government. Today, the same intel agencies whose fingerprints are all over JFK's assassination are more unaccountable and more weaponized than ever. But now they have vast technological powers, from universal surveillance to the new tool of AI. And when you take on the military industrial complex and the police state, don't be surprised when those in power call for you to be eliminated. 11/22/63 should be a day that reminds us that power must be returned to we the people, the sovereign, and America's intel agencies must be brought to heel. And again, so all these people who have zero questions about the FBI narrative are the ones who are betraying Charlie Kirk's ethos, his MO, and his legacy. And it's disgusting. Not one question. I've said this about a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there with zero questions that are just obvious. So I just wanted to, I just don't see how these people can flip everything they've thought their whole entire careers, public careers, and go against Charlie's legacy. Those two videos and this tweet, they're just complete betrayals, and how they think people.
Hey, yo, that's true. Honestly, I feel like if Charlie were to be still alive, he'd totally be on Candace's side. Just trying to investigate what's going on. He thought that the October 7th incident between, that happened in Israel was a false flag. He's like, how is this place it's a fortress. It's like super well fortified. How did that even happen? How did nobody know about this? How did no one go in and help right away? So he was saying it's probably a stand down order, false flag. And so if he believes that, then he would definitely believe that someone killed him. And the fact that Erika Kirk is telling Candace to stop now is pretty wild, because it's going against what Charlie would be doing. Right here, Jimmy Dore showing you the receipts of who Charlie Kirk was, and they took him out, and that's crazy. The things he's saying, it's true. It's like, yo, these intel, now they have AI surveillance. Like, we got to really fight for. Right now is the time that we really have to fight for our rights, in terms of how far we're gonna let these agencies go, how far we're going to let other nations influence our nation. We got to really stand up and fight, because it can slip real easily. And now with AI, everything's exponential. Robots, it's about to get crazy. So enjoy the freedom that we have right now. It's just like COVID. If you would have known COVID would have happened, you would have enjoyed the time before COVID happened. This one, we see it coming, with the AI. It's not like COVID came out of nowhere. This, we see it coming. It's coming, and it's hitting us. And we're not doing anything about it. And it's crazy. At least Candace is going against, fighting the narrative And Charlie Kirk was fighting the narrative. You know, he was open to everyone's opinions. He was always open to debating. The people that are against debating are always wrong. You know, it's really hard to. That's why it's so easy to go against Zionists, because you just say the truth and it just tears them apart, because they know what. Well, they don't think what they're doing is wrong, but what they're doing is wrong, and so they got to lie and they got to stop debates and they got to stop the narratives. And right now, what's going on with Charlie Kirk telling Candace, everyone's telling Candace to stop looking into what's going on. That's saying something, you know? Never stop asking questions, just like what Charlie Kirk would say. Come on. And Jimmy Dore, he's the boy. He's based, and he's on Candace's side. Nick Fuentes, never heard of the guy. Just recently started hearing about him, started seeing his stuff. The fact that he's going against Candace Owens is, he lost all my respect. He says some interesting stuff, but a lot of stuff he says is really dumb.
People who like Charlie Kirk in the first place would ever flip their thinking and betray him like that. It doesn't make sense. And so let me just ask, where do you see the fallout coming from the Mockingbird media? Do you see them losing all credibility? Because I do.
Yeah, they've already lost all credibility. That's why they're fighting me so hard, is because, and what makes me so happy about them losing, because they are losing right now, right? And they every morning I wake up and there's something new. I just they're just making things up out of thin air now. I can't even respond to the things that I'm being attacked over. It's just a full assault. And it's because despite the fact that they had me fired, banned from countries, literally, I can't get into Australia because I won't be a Zionist, right?
I was just there and they
sued by.
That's crazy. Yeah, she's banned from what's up with Australia? They were the worst with COVID. I remember that. Australia. What's going on?
Sitting president, and I had to basically reroute my entire life. My husband and I had to build everything from scratch. They had Zionists, behind the scenes donors, make sure that I would not be allowed to eulogize Charlie Kirk. They had Eric Bolling go out and just lie and fictionalize and say Charlie and I hadn't spoken since 2019, despite how close we always were.
The one thing I will say that I'm grateful for is the fact that we can actually go and post these things. That shows that the Zionists, they don't have all the control yet. The fact that Candace can be number one podcaster and everyone's listening to her and she's not banned, which is crazy because they were doing that in COVID. That was insane. And I think that they probably couldn't do another COVID because people woke up. We lost all our trust in the government with COVID. That's why now it's Kash Patel, FBI, all that stuff is just a joke. You know, we realized that we were being swindled in COVID. Once that ended, they tried to do it again with monkeypox. That's what? But yeah, people were definitely questioning the narrative now. Candace is questioning the narrative, so keep going.
And they then put themselves in his chair on his stage, we're his best friends, I'm his pastor. The people were able to see that none of that was authentic. So they had all the money, they had all the donors, they have CBS News, they have the mainstream media, they had all the power, but we had the truth. And truth is the only real power. And so it is a lesson for them, and it does make all of them look inauthentic. And I do believe that the majority of these people are motivated by money, right? They are getting paid. They had some stake in the ghost of Charlie Kirk, meaning, this person's going to take over his tour. So that's his touring contract. And this is a way for them to get their leg up. And they weren't as big before. We're going to put you in, as a Turning Point influencer. All these ways that if they defend Turning Point USA, they're going to get paid. That's the overwhelming thing that's happening. Actually, I had people inside of Prager University send me, which I'm going to publish later, the list of all of the influencers that are on PragerU's payroll alone that are being paid to come after me, which is Graham Allen is quite literally one of these influencers. He has no substance. He has no soul. He's just, I'm going to attack him because I'm getting paid to. But it should satisfy us that they had all of the money and all of the quote unquote influence in the mainstream media. And yet the people would rather watch ballistic guys on YouTube that say, nah, this didn't happen. The hunter.
Yeah, 100%. Let's go.